Smash and grab, Rick. A big game today against Wolves. We had to get the win. We did get the win in the end. It didn't look like it was going to happen. It looked like an absolute bore fest with Wolves just, being Wolves. Wolves just being Wolves. And Man United looking like slipping back into old habits. Defence kept a clean sheet, but most of all, 3 points, Rick.
Couldn't believe we got the 3 points in the end, mate. It really, really didn't look like it was coming, did it? And it was so vital. I keep saying I'm desperate for us to be with 5. Well, I know we've just played Liverpool. We've got to play tomorrow. Expect them to win, but you never know. They've got a lot of injury problems. But I've been saying for days and days and days, if we can go into that game at Anfield 5 points behind them with a game in hand, I'll be over the moon. We just got to keep ticking these wins off. And as well as Villa are playing, I don't think Villa will set themselves up on Friday night like Wolves did tonight. And I don't think it'll be as difficult. It might be more goals. There might be some goals for them as well, but there might be more goals in the game on Friday night. But desperate to win these 2 games this week, and that's the first one ticks off. No matter how it comes, over the moon with that. Over the moon.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, first of all, we're all buzzing that we got the 3 points. So that's why I'm glad you've just kind of spoke about that and parked it over there, because that was the most, when it's this time of the year, when the games are coming thick and fast, you're changing your teams and everyone's playing every couple of days. You just need points on the board. But, we don't, that would just be an easy interview, wouldn't it? It'd be boring as well. The positive is that we kept a clean sheet. The one time that we keep a clean sheet, it looked like our attackers weren't gonna, leave the game with anything. Defensively, let me talk about that. I mean, we've kept a clean sheet there, and normally we don't. We haven't been recently.
Yeah, we don't normally keep clean sheets. They are hard to come by. And I've said loads and loads of times, we do keep more clean sheets when Matic plays. I have people telling me that we're better with Fred because he wins the ball. If you pass the ball better and keep the game as simple as Matic does, if you're strong on the ball, it's not just... It's hard to explain, Flex, because Fred's passing is fine. But Matic seems to be able to give the player who he gives the ball to more time on the ball. Do you understand what I mean? It's not about looking at the stats and going, oh, he's got an 80% pass completion and he's got an 80% pass completion. When Matic plays, I was about to say we played better. Obviously, we didn't play better, i.e. we weren't ripping him apart. That's not Matic's fault. He's giving the ball to people who are not then doing their jobs, really. Bruno was a bit frivolous with his passing. Rashford, I thought Rashford and Greenwood, I've got to be honest, I thought they were terrible tonight. And
I think a lot of
you know what I mean? So, before you asked me, Matic was the best player on the field by a country mile. And we keep a clean sheet because we're keeping the ball better. And we're keeping the ball better, not because he's got any more high. Well, his pass completion rate must have been really high tonight, to be honest. But it's his selection of passes and the time that he spends on the ball that some people are bored with. I see people putting... he's spending too long on the ball. He's spending too long on the ball because he's looking for the right pass. If the pass, I'll do some things on Twitter tomorrow. If the right pass is an instant first touch pass, he plays an instant first touch pass. If it's not, he's calm. He keeps hold of it, lets everybody else move around, and then he gives it. So we concede less goals when Matic plays because we keep the ball better, not necessarily because we defend better.
Yeah, on Matic, I think... it's probably about a year to round about the day when I hold my hands up. I thought he was done. I thought he was frozen out the team. I remember you even saying you thought he'd get sold in the summer. He didn't look like he was in Ollie's plans. It gets to the new year, bang, Matic is just at it. And I think he is really showing his qualities. And I think your analysis of how he plays the game, I know people want to laugh and say you love Matic and Ricky. Why does Ricky always love Matter? And look, we didn't agree on the Fred situation. That's fine. But I think on Matic, I agree. The way he plays the ball, his pass selection is always good. And when you talk about he always leaves the player in a better position than they were when they received the ball of him, it's because of his weight of pass. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you're receiving the ball, sometimes you want it like safe side, or you want it so the side that the defender isn't on so you can get it, or you want it a little bit in front of you so you can run onto it. It's his pass selection and his weight pass.
The stats that we've got to hand, or the stats that you can find on the internet, can be so misleading, Flex. A stat that I'd love to find, and it'd be impossible to find it, is how many times the player loses the ball who you give it to. And I wouldn't mind betting you that when Matic gives the ball to you, at least 75% of the time that player retains possession. Whereas when Fred gives it to you, it might only be 50%.
I see where you're going. Yeah, and you know the argument to that would be, oh well, of course, because Matic is only playing it sideways to Wan-Bissaka, or he's only playing it. When you actually look at Matic today, he plays passes through the lines. His reading of the game is brilliant as well, because that's another thing. Off the turn, this has turned into a little bit of a Matic masterclass. But he was on the pitch.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about him, like you just said, he was the best player on the field by a country mile. Absolutely by a country mile. I mean, we ended up getting a goal out of a long ball from Bruno. But the number of times Pogba and Bruno played balls over the top today, and when I say over the top, some of them, a lot of them, they're not even over the top because they don't go far enough. Their defenders are winning them too easy, and they must. Look, I won't like to exaggerate, but between them, they must have tried it 10 or 12 times. They must have done. Now, anybody can do that. Anybody. You know, Phil Jones could do that. It's true. He's more or less just kicking it up the field when they get it. It's all right that the well-rated players and everybody loves them, and they might be looking. They can look all they want. It's still going to their defenders or straight through. There was one ball that Pogba played through. I'll speak about two balls that Pogba played through. You know me, Flex. I'm always saying don't try them balls over the top. They're too difficult, right? You play that ball over the top, it's got to land in a perfect... I'm talking about when the defenders are deep. I'm not talking about when the defenders are on the halfway line. As tonight, defenders are deep. If the defenders are deep, you've got like a 6-yard gap that you've got to get it in, because you can't get it down. It can't go over the defender's head and drop within 5 yards. It's got to travel a bit further. And if it goes any more than 10 yards, the keeper's going to get it. So two balls that Pogba played tonight, and I heard the commentator say that was a great idea, and it went straight into the keeper's arms and Rashford couldn't get there. It wasn't a great idea at all, right? Now, in the first half, he played a similar one that did reach Rashford. But when it reached Rashford tried to volley it across with his left foot, but didn't even connect with the ball, and they got a goal kick. So even the balls over the top that are successful, if you like, because that really was a successful pass. Rashford should have done better. But it's a difficult ball to deal with. That ball that's coming over the top, you're running through, and it's over your shoulder, and then you've got to try and get it under or volley it. It's a difficult ball to deal with. Very, very few balls like that are played by Liverpool midfield players or by City midfield players. They give it to the wingers and the fullbacks. They try and get the ball across. The forward's running onto the ball. The ball's going across your path. You've got a much bigger time span of being able to get on it. When it's coming over your shoulder like that, they're a waste of time, and the odd one will work for you. But
yeah, it's not what you talk about. Look, I play a lot of basketball, I did play a lot of basketball. And we always talk about, in basketball, we talk about the percentage shot. And you can transfer that into football, whether it's the percentage pass, the percentage run, the percentage, shot. And you want to take high percentage ones of those. Now, it's about a balance, because if you take too high a percentage, sometimes you can be too safe and not inventive and too easy to read and very predictable. Let's say Spurs. They probably play a lot of high percentage passes, but in transition, they're brilliant. Son will do his thing, and Kane will do his thing. But by and large, Jose tries to play a lot of high percentage football. Yeah. Which, if you look at how they're playing and the results that they've been getting of late, they're not trying to force the issue. That doesn't mean go gung-ho. You need to be somewhere in between. And I think that's what I just want to see. I just want to see a balance, because I think when we did have Louis van Gaal, I dare say if we were doing the fan cams at that time, Rick, I think you probably would have been really impressed by the way we kept the ball. The pattern, we played really safe. We didn't do stupid long balls through the channels. And like you said, you had players like Daley Blind and stuff like that, and Darmian, good solid players. But the criticism was that we never really used to create a lot of chances. We were too safe. So I just want to see us somewhere here doing that. But you're right. That ball...
Flex, can I just say, our forward players are overrated. The midfield players can play as safe as they like. Do you know what I mean? If you've got like Mason on the right, don't laugh. Everybody slates Dan James and everybody praises Greenwood all the time. All the time. I don't see much difference. I really don't. Mason can hardly get in the game. He put one good ball in tonight, but Greenwood put one good ball in the other day. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, Dan James. There isn't really that much.
The biggest difference, Rick, for me, and I think a lot of people would agree, is the fact that on the ball, don't get me wrong, as a winger, Dan James will tuck in, yeah, good shape, all of that stuff, nice jazz, yeah. But when it comes to unleashing a shot or beating a man and sticking it in, Dan James just doesn't possess that ability. He don't. He's shit at that. He's shit.
Mason's not doing it either, is it?
But that's why I think Mason, as a right winger, I do agree. Like, he is in and out of the games. But
the only reason I'm bringing that up, let's forget Dan James for now.
Yeah.
Who played tonight? It's who played tonight. We didn't really. Mason put one great ball over. That
Bruno should have scored that. Remember, we say Mason's got an assist
in the first half. Matic put one great ball over. I thought Cavani should have got on the end of. So there's two great balls into the box in the first half, and then there was a few average balls by Telles. There's a few, two or three average balls by Bruno. That was about it, really. A couple of
there wasn't anything.
There's no real inventiveness. We haven't got players who are terrorising teams, have we? I know we did Leeds, but it's not about our midfield players not being creative enough. It's about our forwards not being good enough. That's what I think it is. The midfield players, if we had Michael Carrick playing for us, who was playing under Louis Van Gaal, he'll be giving it, firing it to feet. But they can't beat a man and get a ball in. They can't beat a man and get a decent shot in. I know Rashford did in the end tonight, but it's not often enough that we're putting games to bed 3 and 4-0. Our forwards are overrated. There's nothing wrong with the simplicity of passing, like Liverpool play. And everybody laughs at me when I say Bruno wouldn't get in Liverpool's team. People laugh at me. They keep it simple. Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho when he plays in midfield or at the back. Thiago, they've signed Thiago, who's just won the European Cup. He can't get a start. Do you understand what I mean, Flex?
Yeah. He's been injured for a long time, but I know what you mean.
But he wasn't getting in. He didn't just go straight into the team when they signed him. I know he's been injured. But they all keep it simple. It's all like clockwork, and the forwards do the business, and the full backs do the business. You know, so there's nothing wrong with your midfield players keeping it simple. Get the quality of forwards that can do the business.
So really, actually, that's really interesting that we've kind of moved into that area, really, because, well, you said it. You think the forwards are overrated. So what are you saying then? Buy better quality forward. Go into the market, get better quality forwards.
If you can, I mean, they're not easy to get, are they? I had somebody say to me today on Twitter, I keep saying that we can't get away with playing 3 forwards all the time. And I shouldn't really include Cavani in this, but he is 34 now. And somebody said to me, Real Madrid won the European Cup with 3 forwards. I said, yeah, but that was Benzema, Ronaldo and Gareth Bale. Do you know what I mean? It's not Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood. Do you know what I mean? The difference is it's astronomical. Think about Gareth Bale, how he used to play when he was on form, but the pace he's got, and genuine pace. We talk about our players being quick.
But Rashford, I mean, I get into this, and I know I don't want to just make it just about Rashford, because you can include Greenwood as well, but their numbers, I know what you're saying in terms of the eye test and how, you want to talk about how often they do things, but one thing about Marcus Rashford, Rick, like, even if you don't fancy him, he's, in football terms, he's always a lifeline. He's always an outlet. He's always, and ironically, the two things that really you haven't really rated right now, ironically, the ball over the top and Rashford
got one goal tonight. The point being, no, Flex. I mean, look, football's fascinating.
It is.
The game tonight could go like that because they're a good side. They're a solid side. It could go like that. Whoever we played, if we had Ronaldo and Bale on the flanks, it might have been a 0-0 draw, or we might have won 1-0. It can go like that. Like we spoke about percentages, I'm talking about percentages. If we played that game 10 times, well, funnily enough, we've played them 8 times in 2 seasons now.
Yeah, for only 1, 2.
In 8 games, we haven't scored against them more than once, Flex. Now, these forwards, apart from Greenwood, he's probably played in 2 or 3 of them games. Rashford's played in probably 6, 7, maybe even 8 of them. We haven't scored more than once against them. If we had better forwards, we need to be scoring 2 or 3 goals at least 2 or 3 times in them games.
Then? Is it anything to do with, I mean, let's take it away from the players for a sec, the individuals. And I like to do this to talk about the manager, the setup, the tactics, etc. We don't seem to have that problem with any other side. I mean, I know there's been stupid games we've lost and stupid goals conceded, but the Wolves thing in particular, can it be just that Ollie, and we've got the win, so it sounds weird because it was a weird win, but could it be that just tactically, like, we end up usually cancelling, like they've just kind of got our number a bit. Like, do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Look, it's arguable, mate. But I'm talking in general, really. Against decent sides, we do struggle to get a reasonable amount of goals, and we've been letting too many goals in. But against the good sides, but tonight we haven't. And funnily enough, we played like Greenwood and Rashford on the flanks today. I don't think they track back well enough either, but we have kept a clean sheet tonight. As I said, I think that's got a lot to do with Matic playing. Somebody said to me, Matic played against Leipzig, and Leipzig are a class team, and we played 5 at the back and 2 in midfield. Bruno was up top. We only had 2 in midfield, really. It was you're almost bound to let goals in against a team like that. And if you think about the goals against Leipzig, the crosses are coming in from the flanks. It's not the central midfield players who they're running past to score goals. You know what I mean? There were, one cross from one flank and the left back scored. Then the left back crossed one and the right back scored. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there's no width. We didn't have width to stop the fullbacks in that game. It's not the central midfield players' fault.
Yeah. Well, what I see with this game as well, just to wrap things up here, Rick, I think
we can talk about all that all night, can't we, mate?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's I'm sure on that. I think also to say is that sometimes you've got to just give credit to the opposition as well. Yeah. Like you say a lot of the time. Like you said, that's there. We played them 8 times. Yeah. It took us 2 attempts in the FA Cup last year for a replay to beat them. The year before, we went out to them in the FA Cup. Draws galore at home against them. 0-0, I think it was in Bruno's first game. Yeah. So they are.
At the end of the day, Flex, I know where you're coming from. At the end of the day, it's a fantastic win for us. There's no doubt. And
we played Leicester, who again are a really good team. So we got a draw. Wolves are a really good team, and another difficult team to play against in Aston Villa. Yeah. So to finish off, Rick, title chase. I know you said not really, but you know what? Like you said, is it still looking okay when you see that?
If keep ticking them off, I mean, we've done it in the end. It was hard work tonight, but we've done it in the end. We've got to win Friday now. If we can win Friday, worst ways we're 5 points behind them when we play them. That's the next game after that, or the next league game.
Yeah.
Just quickly, by the way, you must have heard that little bit of a rumour today. I don't know if it's been on Sky Sports about they might be cancelling football for 2 weeks.
We'll have to see what happens there. And even that 2 weeks, probably, if it does happen, you'd probably think that'd probably be a bit longer than that.
I'd be devastated if that happens.
Yeah. We'll have to just keep our ears to
that means that Liverpool game would almost certainly be off, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And even our City game coming up, that'll probably be off, I would have thought. We shall see. Rick, listen, last game of 2020. Highlight of the year?
That's a tough one. Probably. Just off the top of my head, quickly, winning away at PSG. That was an highlight, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a few highlights earlier in the season. Beating City at Old Trafford was good, wasn't it?
Beating them at their place in the season. This last
it was in the season, but it wasn't in the year, was it? Yeah. Well,
that was December.
It wasn't in the calendar year, was it? No.
Yeah, ages ago. Right, Rick. Have a great New Year, man. Have a great New Year, and I'll see you in the New Year, and I'll see you on Friday.
Nice one, mate. All the best.
Nice one. Take care.